This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1492. When it seems like the entire world disagrees, do you question yourself? By Lisa Merlo-Booth of lisamerlobooth.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show that's all about improving your relationships each and every day in about 10 minutes through the narration of some great relationship building blogs and articles. I'm Greg Audino, the guy who reads to you. Happy to have you here once again. And this time we're checking in with Lisa Merlo-Booth, a longtime contributor here on the show, and she's got a post today that's really going to help us think more critically about our instincts and what to do with them when they come up. So without further ado, let's jump right into her work and optimize your life. When it seems like the entire world disagrees, do you question yourself? By Lisa Merlo-Booth of lisamerlobooth.com. In terms of parenting, I often feel as if I'm up against the world, and the world is winning. Whether it's about PG-13 or R movies, T or M video games, paintball guns, airsoft guns, texting, cell phones, or whatever, there are always 10 other kids who are allowed to do more than my children. It's a constant battle with everybody. Even the parents who I would bet have the same values as I don't. Inevitably, I end up questioning my own values. Am I too old-fashioned? Am I too strict? Too fill in the blank. Unfortunately, this questioning does not help my parenting, nor, by the way, does it help in life. Throughout the years, I found that women are particularly prone to this type of self-questioning everywhere in our lives. We may start out feeling strongly about an issue, concept, or incident. However, we often cave when challenged. Not only do we cave by turning things on ourselves. We begin to think that our thinking is wrong. We start to talk ourselves into believing the alternate view, and then try to get comfortable with what we know to our core doesn't feel right. Here are several examples of this dynamic. When Brandy asks Tom to spend more time at home, he responds by telling her that he works this hard for her. He tells her to get off his back and stop guilting him into feeling bad about not being home more. When she tells him the kids want to see him more, he tells her that's her job and the kids will be fine. Brandy has begun to back off. After all, she's a stay-at-home mom, so the kids do have her. Besides, her husband is a hard worker. Maybe she's being unfair. Sarah was livid when her husband said that he was going on a weekend biking trip with his female friend from work. When she confronted him about this, he said she was crazy to think that way. He was clear that his coworker wasn't the least bit attractive, and he simply needed a biking partner. He was adamant that he was going, and that Sarah needed to get a grip on her jealousy. While he was gone, Sarah began to ask herself why she was such a jealous person. She wished she could be cool with this situation and started to feel bad for her husband. Sally did not like it when her friend Tammy drank. Tammy would start swearing like a sailor at anyone and everyone who upset her. She would become loud and out of control in front of her children, friends, and even coworkers. When Sally tried to talk to Tammy about this, Tammy laughed at her and told her to lighten up. Tammy said Sally was a stick in the mud and way too uptight. Tammy said she could speak however she pleased and Sally should take a Valium. Sally began to question if, perhaps, Tammy was right. Maybe she did need to lighten up. After all, swearing wasn't really that big a deal. Besides, most children have heard it all before anyway, right? Women need to know something. When it doesn't feel right, it usually isn't right. All the doubting, reframing, and second-guessing in the world is not going to change that gnawing feeling. Why? Because that gnawing feeling is called instinct. Too often, women numb their instincts. We do this for many reasons. Fear, we don't want to hurt someone, we want to be liked, we don't trust ourselves, etc. Rather than trusting our instincts and risk upsetting our loved ones, we take the hit ourselves. Perhaps we think, we're misreading something, or we're too sensitive, or fill in the blank. Basically, when others question our instincts, many of us cower. Over time, cowering takes its toll. We begin to trust ourselves less and less. Others begin to doubt us more and more, and we make ourselves small. This creates a ripple effect of self-doubt, insecurity, ineffectiveness, and damaging relationships. Human beings are given the gift of instincts as a source of protection. They're like our beacon in the fog. They keep us on track and protect us from the troubled waters. Ignoring them is a foolish, unsafe practice, that puts us at risk. If your gut is telling you something, listen. If you begin to question yourself, then run your instinct through the instinct tester. Pretend your best friend was telling you the same story that you're beginning to question yourself on. Would you tell her she was crazy and being paranoid? Or would you think she was right on? For example, if my friend told me that her boyfriend was going biking for the weekend with a woman from work, I would tell her she's crazy to question herself, that it's absurd for him to do that. If, however, she said he was going golfing with the guys and she thought he should never go out without her, well, you get the picture. Bottom line, stop numbing your instincts and instead hone them. They are a gift and your beacon in the fog. Challenge. Pay attention to what your instincts are telling you. Learn to listen to those nagging feelings, see those red flags, and hear the rumblings our world is sending you. Also pay attention to all the ways you deaden your instincts. When you begin to question yourself, run your instincts through the instinct tester and trust the answer. You just listened to the post titled, "When It Seems Like the Entire World Disagrees, Do You Question Yourself?" by Lisa Merlo-Booth of lisamerlobooth.com. And thank you to Lisa for this post that can surely stand to get all of us in touch with our instincts. And this is a great thing, not only for the reasons that she listed, but also because in becoming more aware of our instincts, we can not only get better at knowing when to trust them, but also when not to. Our instincts, for as helpful as they can also be old traumas talking. And if we don't question each situation or each instinct individually, we run a risk for over-trusting our instincts, and then in some cases, thrusting guilt or accusation upon someone who really hasn't misstepped, but instead has triggered us to become reacquainted with an old trauma that our brain hasn't forgotten. So I love Lisa's idea about paying more attention to your instincts, but just know that paying more attention to them won't always and shouldn't always lead you to act upon them in the way that you envision. If you pay attention the right way, you'll learn which instincts to act on and then which to maybe self-reflect on. So definitely a lot to think about after this one, everyone, and it's going to be a long process to do this work. So I'll leave you now and let you get started. Thank you so much for coming today and making another episode possible, and I'll see you again tomorrow for a post that is for the parents out there. That's where your optimal life awaits.